Kenyan government freezes accounts for Kenyans in the Binance system. Or in short, the government of Kenya has frozen accounts for several Kenyans who have saved or invested their money in cryptocurrency, and specifically Binance. There are Kenyans who have invested millions of Kenyan shillings in Binance, and that money is generating income for them. So Kenyan government has suspected that some of the accounts are doing money laundering. That's why they have frozen several accounts. Yesterday morning, many of the Kenyans who had invested money there went to withdraw as usual, and they were unable to withdraw. The DCI was the one which was responsible for freezing the accounts. Now that means if you find that your account is frozen, you have to follow the right channels. Go to the DCI, you have to explain the source of that money, provide all the documents so that the accounts can be unfrozen. Now, Kenyan government is looking for ways of increasing taxes, and they believe most Kenyans hide stolen money in cryptocurrency, and that's why they have invaded the system. And Binance was not able to deny DCI a chance to freeze the accounts. Now, this is bad news for people, Kenyans who want to invest money there. And as you know, the Central Bank of Kenya and the government know money in the system. If you receive, for example, your bank account receives 10 million at a go, that transaction will not go through. The money, you will be blocked from accessing the money. Then CBK will want you to actually state where you received that money from. Now, there are so many Kenyans who receive money from abroad, from relatives, as gifts. There are Kenyans who have several deals in the country. And in one of the videos, I asked why we have so many apartments in Nairobi, so many good houses in Nairobi owned by Kenyans. Yet, if you see the income of most Kenyans, they earn less than 100,000. Someone earning 70,000 owns a compound worth 100 million. How? Someone who is jobless in Nairobi owns apartments in the city. Now, apart from cryptocurrency, there are so many other ways in which Kenyans wash money. And this was one of the topics I wanted to talk in this video. Now, cryptocurrency is a system which is highly monitored. You can see all the transactions, and it's difficult for someone to hide money there. It is the same as Forex. It is the same as betting sites. The only person who can hide money in betting site is someone who is highly connected with the government or to the government. That's why You find those guys who own betting sites are friends to the government or to the president, or they are politicians. So you have to be a politician so that you can protect your company. So cryptocurrency is not a good place to hide money. It's a good place to invest genuine cash. If you have made, for example, 100 million, you cannot explain where you got that money. You can only invest in cryptocurrency and earn some profit for some time. But when the government comes for that money, you will not be able to recover it. And that is the sad reality of systems like cryptocurrency, forex, betting site, any online system. It is highly monitored. So that's why politicians in Kenya opt to wash or to hide their money in a different way rather than putting it in an online system. Even bonds, shares, money market fund, all those systems are monitored, and it's very hard to hide a lot of money in those systems. So one of the ways in which Kenyans hide their money, as usual, is through matatu business. When you collect money in matatu, you don't give receipts. Most people pay in cash. And that cash, if you receive 5,000, you can bank 20,000 and nobody will question and declare that as profit. That's why politicians and police officers and wash people own matatus. Another way is to own something like high-end salons. These salons which charge 50,000, 30,000, because they don't also give receipts. So if someone is stealing maybe from the government, they can put that money, they can declare that one as profit. And what they do, if someone has stolen 3 million, he'll just spread that money throughout the year so that every month can declare profit of, let's say, 200,000, 300,000, and nobody will notice that. And they'll pay tax as usual, but the money will find its way into the system through the profits. Another way is to use the money in building apartments, homes. So, for example, if someone has stolen 5 million, he can just put it in cash, save it in cash, and then he go and buys a property. No, not a property, land, through a loan or savings. Then he'll use this money stolen to build the house by buying building materials, paying the fundis and whatever. That is what most politicians do. Someone can take a loan and buy land using that loan. But what he uses to build that land is money stolen from somewhere. Others are building even apartments using that money. And how do they do it? In these apartments, they buy land not using their names. What do they do? This land they'll have a fake ID which is very fake, and register that one as the owner of that plot. Then they can use the money stolen to build that property. Or they have a company with directors who don't even exist. The names don't exist, the people don't exist. So when they're trying to trace those people, nothing, you'll never get them. So that's what they normally do. Another way they hide the money is through these shows. You find a certain musician is coming to Kenya to perform somewhere in a certain restaurant and is paid 50 million. If you look at the tickets and everything that was sold that night, they cannot reach 50 million. Where do they get this 50 million from? All this, if you add all the sales and money collected, it's, let's say, 5 million. And then the musician is paid 50 million. It means someone wants to wash some money which they stole from somewhere. So the musician will negotiate before they come. He will be paid, let's say, 5 million. But they will pretend that they paid him 50 million. So this other money, someone will pocket. That's what happens. So that's how money is washed. So the musician can even be paid that 50 million. They go to maybe Nigeria. The owner of that money will just follow the politician. The money will find its way to another country and it's invested there. So that's what happens. Another one, which most politicians do, they buy property outside the country. So they steal the money in cash, they fly with it outside the country and buy the property. There are so many Kenyans who buy property in Dubai, South Africa, and other countries. That's what happens. So the money leaves the country. They also have offshore accounts with trillions of money. Just go online and Google Kenyans with offshore accounts outside the country. There's so many. Other Kenyans wash the money using farming as an excuse. They do farming. Someone has got 100 acres, they plant maize. At the end of the season, after 7 months, they declare profit 50 million. That money is included and they can just go and deposit in the bank. You will not even notice. That's why most politicians do farming. They have ranches. They keep goats, sheep. They do farming, even chicken farming. So they mix the money they stole with the money that is genuine. You'll never notice that is happening. Others will even contribute to, they will have charity organizations. Others, those charity organizations, that's where they normally keep the money and it finds its way. Also, we have churches. Others can even clean money through churches. So on Sunday, the church will go and announce that they have collected 20 million. But in the real sense, they collected 3 million. That money is deposited in the account and then it finds its way into the owner. That's what happens. Once it's the account is withdrawn, the owner, or it's transferred to another person. So you never know. So these are some of the ways people wash money. They don't go online to invest in cryptocurrency. That investment is for people who don't know the various ways money is washed. There are so many other ways, and people have been in the industry for long. We tell you, there are others who form a company partnership or limited, and they buy stock with that money. And once they buy stock, then they'll start depositing the profits in the bank. You'll never know. So those are some of the ways. So in short, the government frozen the accounts and you're not able to withdraw or make any transaction. And in future, the government will go to any system. They are targeting M-Pesa, they are targeting bank deposits, and many other transactions which are being done. And that is how other Kenyans will be caught, those who don't know how to wash money.